Hey Steve, what's 6 foot long and keeps it warm? A Manchester City scarf. Oh, have a bit of that. Oh yeah. Oh, you don't get it. Yes, my ass, you don't get it. Of course you get it. Just try to shoot me down because it was a great joke. How are we doing, everybody? It's Kev Ashford back in the van. It's a van cam here on the biggest Man United fan channel in the land. And this is the United stand. It's the big one. It's Manchester United against Manchester City. It's an FA Cup final. There's an FA Cup to play for. It's not just a league game. This is where it happens. It's where it starts. This is where your day starts. This is the van cam. It is the big one. And there is so much to get into in such a short space of time. And before we start, please make sure to finger or fist the like button. Thank you very much. It was Frankie Goes to Hollywood that sang, when two tribes go to war. Can't remember the rest of it. Something like that anyway, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to get at there. I'm saying this is two tribes going to war. And does any Manchester United fan, does anybody give Manchester United a chance in this FA Cup final? What are we playing off here? Are we playing off hope? Because I think we know deep down, we've seen what Manchester City have done to us this season in the 2 games they played. They scored 3 goals in each. I think we've replied with 1 Rashford goal. And in fairness, in both of these games, we haven't been in it. You always get the sense that Manchester City can just step it up whenever they want. When we took the lead against them at the Etihad with a Rashford goal, it was almost like, it's like just prodding a bear with a stick, you know, and going, there you go, what do you make of that? And then it just mauls you to death. Not that, you know, that is what Manchester City, well, they are capable of doing it, but not killing us, you know, literally or physically. But in football terms, Man City, when we play them, just seem to be able to step it up whenever they want to. They go through the gear changes. Sometimes they don't even have to get out of second gear to beat United. And I know I'm under no illusion of how difficult a game this is going to be. Team selection is going to be key. We are going to need to stay in this game. None of that bollocks from last year in the FA Cup final when we got beat. Gundogan scoring the quickest FA Cup final goal of all time or whatever it was after 13 seconds. I don't even knock the beer off me pint, man, and the goal goes in and I think, for God's sake, man, this is going to be a long afternoon. But we managed to get back into that game and it's all about the in-game management. But team selection is going to be key because Erik ten Hag, for the last 2 games, has tried this false 9. Now, whatever you think about that, you know for a fact that Erik ten Hag is looking at this and thinking, we need the extra man in the midfield. Now, I agree to some extent with that. I can see exactly where he's coming from because you will get absolutely played off the park and dominated in that area. So having an extra man in there, certainly maybe an extra runner, whoever it would be. I don't know whether it would be an Amrabat or a McTominay. I know. But you could see what Erik ten Hag, he's thinking in that is that he's going to need legs in there because you're going to have the likes of De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, whoever it's going to be. Been giving me nightmares thinking about this. I'm glad I'm not Mr. Ten Hag and I've got to pick the team. But he has gone the last 2 games with a false number 9, which has meant that Rasmus Højlund has had to fall to the bench. Now with that, you are missing, you know, our top scorer and a huge goal threat. Now, the headache for Erik ten Hag, a nice headache to have, is the fact that Rasmus Højlund come on in them 2 games and scored a goal in each of them, scored 2 goals. So in terms of that, it would probably be very, very harsh to drop Rasmus Højlund. But how do you start accommodating things then? Because Ahmad has been playing really well. I think he should start. But deep down, I'm starting to think that Ahmad is the easy choice to drop today out of the first team. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Bruno Fernandes on the right-hand side because if you're playing Højlund for the fact of the goals, then and you want the extra man in midfield, don't forget, at the back, Manchester United have had serious injury problems. Casemiro is not a centre-back. And the thought of Casemiro starting at centre-back against Haaland, again, gives me nightmares. That is the stuff that nightmares are made of because Pep Guardiola, even Erling Haaland to an extent, would be licking his lips if he knew that Casemiro was playing centre-back. So if Lisandro Martinez, you like that, Lisandro Martinez is to be at the back, then if a Johnny Evans is fit, he has to be in there. It remains to be seen how fit a Rafael Varane is, his last ever game for Manchester United. Hopefully that is an option. But Johnny Evans has never let Manchester United down, so maybe him and a Martinez. Obviously, Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, they pick themselves at the back. And then it gets into the midfield. That's where it gets interesting. Who are you going to play? Does Casemiro then go into the midfield role? Because Amrabat didn't impress in his last game, but he will give you legs. It really is a real headache. But for me, you forget about the false number 9. Rasmus Højlund has to start for Man United. He has to start because he can be the one that sets the press. Forget Bruno. Bruno doesn't have to be that erratic player who's trying to set the tone. If Bruno Fernandes is disciplined and can drop back into a free in the midfield, whoever it might be, well, I'm assuming it's going to be Kobe Mainu, and I think Ten Hag will go with Casemiro. I would personally go with Mainu and Amrabat. If you could have Fernandes dropping in with them free, I've not got an issue with that, because on the break you would have pace, you would have a Garnacho, you'd have an Ahmad, and you'd have a Højlund as a front three. And the one thing United have to do against Manchester City is stay in the game. I think back to Anfield, nobody gave us a chance that game, and somehow, well, I say somehow, we come away from that game because we had a game plan. We went in with the mindset that we couldn't go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. That would have been just football, I was going to say shithousery. It's not shithousery. It just would have made absolutely no sense at all to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool at that time. They would have destroyed us. But we had a structure. Every player was tapped in. Everyone put in a shift, and everybody knew where they were on that pitch. Bank of four, whatever. Get in behind the ball, make it difficult, and then it's all about the counter-attack. And United have done this over the years under Sir Alex Ferguson, even most recently under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We got good results against Manchester City by doing this. And it's not great to watch. But at the end of the day, if Manchester United lift the FA Cup, I don't care how it is. If United win the FA Cup, I'll be delighted. If it's a dodgy VAR decision, whatever it is. Set pieces are going to be key. If we can get into their end of, the field, the final third, if we can get any kind of free kick, any kind of corner, we need to work the set pieces. But the counter-attack is going to be vital. Sorry, mate, I've got no change. You got a chip and pin machine? I ain't got the card on me, mate. It's going to be absolutely vital, the counter-attack today. I cannot stress that enough. I go back to that Liverpool game, and on another day, if we'd have took our chances and Højlund had a big chance, today it's all about being clinical. And like I say, I do not care how bad this game might be. After the Liverpool game, we had Virgil van Dijk coming out, Jurgen Klopp going, it's not the way the game should be played, they're killing football. No, we're not killing football. We know we've had a disastrous season. We know we've been really shit, and we know our limits. We know the limits of these players, and we know that they are liable just to let you down, and especially on these big occasions, the big days. So we need to tap into this. We need to sit in deep, and if we do create some, we have got the pace on the counter-attack. If Bruno can get up to support, Bruno will be the key. Because these people that say that Bruno Fernandes, what does he bring to the team? Them 2 games that he was out, we did not create anything. Tomorrow, it could be one pass just to unlock, the key in the lock. Let's unlock it. And then it's up to whoever it's going to be. I personally do not think that Ahmad is going to start. And that in itself is an absolute disgrace. If he doesn't start, maybe he might start, but I just think he's such an easy target. Somebody who Ten Hag can look at and go, yeah, sorry, mate, you're not in there. But this is a huge game for Erik Ten Hag. You're all reading the same stuff as me. It is coming out that apparently this game is not even enough to save his job. He's a goner. So I'd love Erik Ten Hag to go out on a high. It remains to be seen whether he will be in charge of Manchester United next season. But I'd love him to cap this by winning the FA Cup. And what better way to do it than against these shower of blue-nosed knobheads? And I'm there for it, man. I cannot wait. And I'm sure, like myself, I'm sure you are feeling sick, anxious, nervous, all them things at once. But there is a bit of excitement in there. You can't not be excited in an FA Cup final, regardless of who the opposition is. Yes, they are a good team. Probably the best team in the world, and that pains me to say it. But we rise through the flames today. We need a shift from every single player. This is Manchester United. We go out there, we give a good account of ourselves, and we leave everything out on that pitch. Once we walk over that white line, no regrets at the end of the game. Thanks very much for watching. And enjoy the roller coaster of emotions that this Manchester Derby FA Cup final will bring to you. Thanks for watching. And for United, this is officially the last one of the season. And of course, it's going to be a big one because it's a big game. So come on, United! Yeah!